Welcome, Knicks fans. Welcome to another episode of Sky Hoops Knicks Dreams. And today we're going to chop it up based on yesterday's game between the Knicks and Golden State and today's game between the Knicks and the Kings. So to get us all started, I'm going to, do a nice little, reverse pass to my man Dream so he could kick it off and give us his take on what he saw yesterday, what his thoughts are, and what he thinks moving forward.
Welcome to Knicks Nation. We're all happy with what happened last night. So from start to finish, I think we had a good control of the game. Some things swung our way at halftime, where Draymond got knocked out of the game. Whether that was justified or not, we played it to our advantage. And that's exactly what we need to do when teams give us things. We need to take it and use it to our advantage. Let's stand up for all five starters last night who dominated the game, right? The bench eventually came around to hold up, but the five starters, and then if you want to throw in Burks as your first game back, having 31 minutes and working your way back into offense, go ahead and stand up yourself. But a big clap for the five starters for really controlling and implementing how we wanted to attack them, not letting them attack us. Okay, that's first and foremost. Burks with the 11 points and the 5 rebounds. We said whatever you could give to us in an efficient manner. I thought it was great that he let him play like Thibodeau, let him play, let him get that run, let him get his legs on him, didn't pull him quickly, just found spots to get him in the game with the starters, with the bench, here and there just to get the flow back. And he showed up here and there. I didn't feel like he hindered us in any way. Whether he made shots or not, he took them within the flow of the offense, and he made the ones that kind of kept our lead building. Okay. Rebounds, 55-46, but more importantly about the rebounds, we had 44 defensive rebounds. So that tells me that they're shutting them down to one possession. One shot, get the rebound, now we on our side. So that's the biggest key about the rebounds. Not so much that we got them by 11 or anything like that, but the fact that we kept them to one-shot possessions really played into our favor. And, like I said, the Green ejection was a big plus. We don't know how the game would have played out in the second half, like we said, but we'll take any advantage we can get, especially against a team like that. We'll come back around. I got some other things to add, but, all in all, no complaints at all, and I'll toss it down bottom between the legs pass. Somebody's coming behind me. I think it's Bill Shadamas. Oh,
wanted to point out you were the closest one with your score. You were 4 points off, Dream. You had predicted 115 to 108, and it was 119-104. So you was 4 points off for both teams.
Okay,
congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You want those Stradamus on the back of your name? Dream Stradamus?
No. I dream it up, and you predict them the right way. You know what I mean?
All right.
We all play our positions on this team.
That's right. I wanted to point out that, like you said, everything that we said needed to happen in order for us to win, it seems like all of that stuff happened. We said, Curry's going to get his, but that was the most ineffective 30 that I've ever seen dropped, basically.
I agree.
Because I don't know if you guys noticed, a lot of that broadcast showed him on a bench with a towel over his head, looking like
pissed off.
Looking like somebody took the ball away and he wanted to take his ball and go home or something.
Yeah.
Dude it seems like we frustrated the whole team, which is what we said. Let them do what they do best. We do what we do best, and let's see who comes out on top. And apparently our defense was better than their offense last night. And like we also said, Draymond Green got him out of his game somehow. He got the 2 technicals, and now he's out of the game. Once he went out of the game, it seemed like they started to look tired immediately. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, he's not there to pick them up and, to do what he normally does. And it seemed like they kind of gave up. They tried to come back a little bit, I guess, in the fourth with those guys who are out there basically who who don't receive that much run. So they was trying to make do with the minutes that they were given, and they cut it to 12 or to 9 or whatever. But we ran away with that. I think we took that from them. We went in their house and went in their refrigerator, took the orange juice out, finished it off,
left the door open,
disrespected
them on the way out.
Until the next time we come, have more orange juice in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And we walked out. But overall, like you said, the starters played very, very good. All of them. All 5 of the starters played well. Mitch was in the sky more than he was on the ground, seemed like. Mm-hmm. And he had a lot of putbacks, dunks, what have you. And he played even with what's his name, Wiseman.
Good.
I think he played. They had a pretty even matchup there, because there were some plays where Wiseman, we just took it to Mitch, and it seemed like there was nothing he can do about it. Mm-hmm. But Wiseman is not. I don't know. He's not the dog yet that Mitch is. He'll be okay, but we got him, and I don't want to say too much, so I'm going to do a no look to my left and hit my man 2.0 for the easy bucket. 2.0. How you feeling today, bro?
What can I say, man? You can only feel but great about what's happening with these guys in the last few days. Like I always say, don't get too high, don't get too low. Just go with the flow. Enjoy the moment. They're giving us everything that we want and that we should expect. Last night I saw a look of frustration on Curry's face. Like he said, "What the hell? The Knicks are beating us? I can't believe this crap."
Yep.
And I was so happy to see him and on that bench, even though they put him back in there in the last of the fourth quarter to try to mount a last-minute comeback. But it was to no avail. The Knicks defense is showing up.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Take it away, Santana.
Listen, the Knicks were laying the smack down yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Golden State didn't want some of that smoke. The Knicks came out there. They were playing passing lanes. They were getting a little physical. They weren't giving these folks an easy look, to get either their pass off, their dribble off, or even their shot off. So, they came in there prepared to take that game from Golden State from the jump. They weren't, cutting any shorts. They were going in there. They were making sure that they were going to be imposing their will on the Warriors. And sure enough, as a matter of fact, from my understanding, if I remember correctly, let me add Mr. Bill back in. Curry couldn't get off in that first quarter. If anything, Peyton played good defense on him. He didn't get, enough space to just get off. Nilly-willy, just freestyling and and stuff like that. So he made him work, and as a result of that, you had
turned him over quite a few times too.
Mm-hmm. Say it again?
He turned him over a few times. Yeah. I think Curry had about a good 4 or 5 turnovers in that first quarter.
Yeah,
exactly. And then, of course, Draymond, he was trying to run the offense. So what I noticed yesterday is, as we discussed in yesterday's podcast, what I was expecting to see out of Curry is him doing the figure eights to get himself open. He didn't do that. And I think the reason why he didn't do that is because he didn't have a pure point in there to facilitate the ball. Usually for him to do that, he has to move without the ball, and you got to get a point guard that's going to be dribbling the ball from side to side to either pass him the ball, and that wasn't happening. Draymond, he's not a pure point; he's more of a point forward, and he doesn't have the skills to be working the floor like that. He can make a 1 or 2 pass here and there, but nothing, too elaborate. nonetheless, that worked to our advantage, of course. And then ultimately, overall, their full approach from beginning to end, the defense was the staple, was the constant, which is what we expect out of them. Now, I think everybody has bought in that in order for us to win, we have to play defense. Don't worry about pace. The pace is predicated on the defense that we play. The key to our defense is transition defense, first and foremost.
Yep.
You
That was
know
good
that
last night.
other teams want to run. So you got to take that away from the jump. And then we get them locked into our half-court sets. And when we get into our half-court sets, you see hands all over the place. So, I was excited. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm expecting. Even though that first quarter, they scored a lot of points. Golden State scored a lot of points, more than I wanted them to score initially. Because, I know it was close to like in the 20s, low 20s and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. As this game progresses, the defense is going to clamp down. And that's exactly what I saw. And then eventually in the first half of the third quarter, they kind of let Golden State, get into a rhythm. Then Tibbs called a timeout and put the lockdown on them again. And then, in the fourth quarter, they pretty much controlled the game, even though Golden State and, of course, Curry tried to make a little run. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to overcome what the Knicks were doing. So, I just wanted to give that broad overview of what I saw. And then, of course, we can go into the individual matchups and other things. So, with that being said, I'm going to dribble it between my legs, and I'm going to give the Dream a left-handed pass so he could do what he do.
Yeah. All right. So here I am, swooping to the lane. I'm going reverse to the other side of the basket to avoid the defense. So what we have here is, since we're talking about going to the lane, we got another game, fellas. I keep talking about this. 19 fast break points. Very important to what we're trying to do. We're not only playing defense, we're flipping that defense into immediate offense. Okay, so that's another plus that we're starting to add to the things that we're doing. The fundamental things that we're starting to do. Like I said, it begins with that defense, that transitional defense. The second part to that transitional defense, like you said, once you get into a set, you lock it down and you keep them to one possession and out. Get that rebound, get that one possession out. No more of this tap out, loose balls flying around, and it's an open guy thing. No, everybody's playing under control. They understand where they need to be, and more importantly, for the most part, they're tracking where the ball's going. So they're on spot where man ball. Okay, a couple times they're beat, it's gonna happen in game, especially against a team like the Warriors. They're running gun all over the places. That's what they want to do philosophically. But some things also. I mean, we can. Blow smoke up booties of the Knicks all over. But some things I didn't really like. Again, second straight game, we missed 10 free throws.
Yeah.
There were little parts of the game for me. I felt we was in control. And then all of a sudden I was like, this is an area that we're letting go. A free throw here, a free throw there, a wide open layup down low by Bullock. Those little things start to add up 5-10 points at the end of the game. Then they make their run. And, that was the thing. But we held it together. We didn't let that get away from us. It was just something that I noticed, second straight game, missed 10 free throws. And along with that, I just felt like we left a lot of little loose points out there on the table, that we could have ate up. Like I said, that Bullock layup. Robinson a couple of times I just felt was a little weak down low. Didn't need to be so weak. Could have been a little stronger to the basket. But overall, he played a good game. So I'm not going to kill him for anything. I'm not killing anybody for anything. Like I said, we're very happy with what they put out last night. And, it was important to get a positive start on this road trip. The West Coast road trip, notoriously in past years, has given us trouble. And these teams are not, the lighter scale of the West Coast trip either. But we are catching them at the right time. So, we're playing the things that are advantages to us. We're playing strong and beating teams. And that's all we can ask for. What else are we going to do? So I see Nostradamus sneaking out the back. So I'm going to throw him a baseball pass all the way 3/4 court. What you going to do?
He
slipped out. We lost him. He was moving so fast, he ran out of bounds. So, interception from 2.0. Got him. There you go.
Okay, so all good points, but still, I think to piggyback on your point about the free throws, they did take a lot more than they have. I think it was the most free throws they've ever taken in a game, and they did miss 10 of them, but I think they took about 38. So it wasn't that bad, you know. Of it's still a bad thing to miss free throws, but you know, they made them when it counted.
I'll give you that.
What was the other thing? I think the second unit when they came in there. Oh, by the way, and Curry did ended up with about 14 points in the first quarter. Even though, yes, we tried to hold them down some. Uh, he was still able to get his. By the end of the first quarter, he still had it. I think. Well, so those are the 2 points. The other thing is that I think it was the second unit who let us down and allowed the game to that allowed them to get back into the game by the time the halftime came around. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 40 to maybe 29-31. It wasn't that far away either. But they outscored us in the second half and almost made it like a 52-50 game or something like that at the half. Um, Sorry, fellas, I'm not in front of all my stats right now, so I'm just mostly, recollecting, from memory. Um, but even though all of that happened, the main thing is that they came back in the after the half and continued to play well. And the fourth quarter, it was like, um, it was our quarter, man, as it should be. When you're playing good defense, man, teams just, I don't want to say they give up, but they get a little discouraged by the fourth quarter, man. Or they don't want to go in there and be manhandled like that. So we did what we had to do, and that's all we can say, or all we can ask for. Okay, so take it away, Santana.
Well, I'm gonna pass it over to Mr. Bill to get his take on it, and then I'll follow up Mr. Bill. Go ahead, Bill
Oh,
Strajamis.
okay. What? Okay. The only negatives I can take away from it, in that first quarter, they were able to hit us. They hit us a few times with that split screen back door,
Yes.
and that's what Santana had spoken about. Like they can't get us. They got us a few times on that for just wide open layups. Whoever that was. So it seems like Sid saw that and made certain adjustments because after the first quarter, they didn't get too many of those off, if any. We did shoot a whole lot of free throws, as all you guys have mentioned. However, if we're going to shoot that many free throws, we got to shoot it at double-digit misses in free throws. You guys are professionals, and you guys are supposed to make your free throws, and that's just it. I noticed that RJ, I'll throw the J on just based on his play last night and in the game before. Dude is playing smarter because I saw that he opened up. He took a bad three. He missed it badly, and I think he saw that, and then he started to bring his shots in a little closer, which is all we asked for. You're not a regular 3-point shooter, so maybe he took one or two and saw that he didn't have it and decided to make his mark in a different way. Going to the basket, that's his bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the basket because he's pretty strong. Although he's young, he's pretty strong for a 2 or 3 to guard him on most nights. And he played a very, very smart game. And so did Randall. Where you made that point dream of him once Draymond got knocked out, you think he's going to try to just take over. He didn't do that. He played a very smart game. He was one assist shy of a triple-double.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and other people were in the flow. Like you said, Burks had 11. And I agree with Henry. We were chatting that the second unit is what is kind of let us down a little bit. And that's because I think Tibbs, although he only played them less than a quarter.
Yeah, very
little. Played them 11 minutes, but I think that first go around he left them in too long. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all. But when he brought them back in, in the fourth quarter, and them young legs ran Golden State off. He was throwing his lobs to him and Obi.
Obi, yes,
with that 5 speed, and Kenobi, was running those dudes out of their own building.
Yeah,
man, I really like that. That was good to see. So with that being said, where am I going with it? I'm gonna go up top. I'm gonna throw the no look up top to Santana.
All right, and I'm gonna dunk it with 2 hands, bro. Shaquille O'Neal style. Break the rim.
Bring the whole stanchion down like in Orlando.
Exactly. Oh, but you made my point, because that was what I was gonna lead with next in terms of looking for that split action backdoor play that Golden State likes to run. And they tried it, and that was the very first scoring opportunity that they got. It ended up in a free throw, because they ended up fouling, and the guy went to the free throw line. But it came off of that split action backdoor pass. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then there was another time when it was done early in the game as well. And again, I was like, here we go. They got to make the adjustment. We anticipated that play, because that's their bread and butter. And of course, it's been very effective. And again, you got new guys on that squad, so they're still learning and stuff like that. Had it been the Golden State Dynasty team, they would have been able to execute that more. But Tibbs has seen it. He prepared for it. This team was ready to play this game, and they knew the importance of winning this game. And that was one of my final takes yesterday. I made sure, listen, if I'm the coach, I'm telling him this is a must-win game, because this road trip is going to be tough. Even though, we have a little bit more hope, we feel confident, and we feel like, now we have a better chance to win these next couple of games. But we still have to focus on that first game. We sent the right message. Now the league knows, okay, we can't take the Knicks lightly, because we know they're coming in, they're playing good fundamental defense, and that defense is keeping them in the game, and if not keeping them in the game, it's helping them win games. And like I don't know if it was Henry who said it or Dream or even Bill, by the time they get to that fourth quarter, they don't want that smoke. They're like, damn, we've been getting beat up and run and got this guy sitting next to me on the bench defending me and everything. I can't deal with this cat. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in new bodies, trying to get some of that smoke. They don't want that smoke. So, that's the overall thing that I'm seeing from this team. Now, in terms of individuals and their performances, in terms of Barrett, okay, I'm still gonna call him Barry. I'm not gonna call him the other names right now, because he's earning his stripes. The adjustment that he has made is he's cut back on the shooting threes, which is good. He hasn't exceeded more than 5 shots per game, I think, in the last 4 or 5 games. Okay, and that's great. That's great that he's approaching it that way, because he's attacking the basket more, which is his strength. You could play that bully ball, and as soon as you get the rebound, go with it, go before the defense gets settled, so that way you could attack the basket, get your easy buckets. If not, you get to the free throw line, and he's made improvements in his free throws. So I'll give him his props there, and he's staying within that confine of his game. That's a perfect contribution or compliment to Randall, because I think he's come to realize Randall is the guy. He plays through Randall. He doesn't have to be the lead, because Randall's more consistent with his shots on a game-to-game basis. And until Barrett proves that he's more consistent, you can't give him that mantle of the number 1 option. But nonetheless, right now, the way that he's playing, now that's his role. That's where his strength is at. And with that said, I'm going to do a nice little, behind the back pass to my man Dream.
Smoke Dream. I'm going to dribble right past these guys. They don't even see me coming. So, yesterday we spoke about those three guards we wanted to go into the game to watch, right? In previous matchup, you had Curry, Oubre, and Wiggins, right? And what did we write down? We wrote down that they had 60 points, 27 rebounds, and 10 assists in that previous game. They wiped out. I even forgot the team they played. But this game, right, we said we wanted to drop those numbers a little bit and play them into our favor. This game, those same three put up 54 points, so we knocked them a little bit off that 60, only 18 rebounds, and that played into those one-and-done possessions that we talked about in the beginning of the show, right? And 9 assists, which is about what they had last game. But I think the cutting down the rebounds and not giving them second shot opportunities at those threes that they like to put up really helped us instill what we wanted to do in the game, outside of that, there's not really much more we can dig into on this game itself. Aside from the matchups, the Riddler, Barrett, whatever you want to call yourself these days. So thank you for showing up, because we said this was one of those games that you complained about in the beginning of the season, that you was not on the first or second all-rookie team. And we said this is your Eric Pascal game. So you came out and you showed out. And because Green was out, Eric Pascal had a chance to show out back. He had a couple of nice little plays and dunks he was catching off down low on some of our lax defense. But for the most part, Barrett really separated that in my mind. Like, okay, now you separated what people were saying, like, oh, no, they're more close in game than it is, separated. So Barrett showed that he was a better player. Overall, Robinson, like we said earlier, Nostradamus, he evened out his matchup with Weissman. So that was good to see also, outside of that, I just thought we played an overall really good game. I was excited and I was proud more than anything to be a fan last night of the Knicks. And with that, I'm going to call a T and we can regroup and figure out how we want to attack this next play.
All right.
Take it away, 2.0.
2.0, it's on you.
I just wanted to add two things. We were blessed to have Draymond pick up a second technical foul and get thrown out the game. The game would have been a lot different with him on the floor. And secondly, I gotta give props to RJ. I'm giving him his J back. He knocked down his J's, okay, and he started out from inside out. It was drive to the basket first. Well, so at one point, he grabbed the rebound, went all the way down and dunked. And my man Green was like, I don't want none of that shit. I let that rookie. I don't want to be posterized by this kid. Anyway, and so he kept on, he saw his layups were going in. He was attacking the basket. And all of a sudden, he got a couple of three. Saw one go down, took a second one, saw that one go down. So, yes, perfect game for him. And he got his rebounds. He got his assists. Again, with my man, what's his name? Randall. Great game, man. He let the game come to him, man. He had no points in the first, but he had already had five assists in the first quarter. And then eventually he ended up with his 18 points and 17 rebounds. You know that? 18 points, 17 rebounds. Man, I'll take that any day of the week. And I one assist shy of a triple-double. And he had nothing in the first quarter, about 5 assists. Fantastic, right, man. You can't ask for more. Take it away, Santana.
Go ahead, Mr. Bill, your turn. And then I'll
Well, only an observation that, and I made this during the game, and how can I forget this now? Was Bullock hearing footsteps, or did Captain Hook say, we got Burks back, so you better do something?
Oh, yeah.
Bullock was hitting everything that he threw up. What was he, 4 for 5 from downtown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said, now this dude, wait till Burks come back.
Yeah.
To start dropping threes.
That's fine. He picked the right game.
He did. He picked the right game, and he played some good D as well, as he normally does.
Yeah.
So that stood out to me as well. And another thing, I think Obi-Wan, he's trying to get a little comfortable out there, because he's like, he came down on consecutive plays asking for the ball. And he just, tried to take his man one-on-one. I'm like, okay, I like that. And he looked, I don't know, looking at his body, looking at the things he was doing, it reminded me of Amari Stoudemire.
Okay.
Just it looked like more of Amari Stoudemire than any other player that I can think of at the moment. You know, how he was going to the basket, how he was going in there, you know, with the hard dunks. He might not be as ferocious as Amari was, but he'll get there.
He's still getting his legs on.
He's getting it. Yeah, he's getting his legs still in there.
That's the scary part.
Yeah. So
he's real, you know, power there.
And I got to give credit to Elf. Every time I'm calling for him to be sitting next to Tibbs and them, he shows up.
Yeah.
So I gotta let Tibbs be the coach, and I'll be the Monday night quarterback, and as we all are. I guess he knows what he's doing because Elf played a solid game.
Yeah.
And which is why also when Steph went out, I wanted Peyton to go out also. Although he was playing pretty good offensively, I think his value came more on the defensive end because he made Curry work for that 30.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, Curry got that 30 like in the end of the first quarter, and then when was it? Was it in the third quarter?
Yeah,
I guess. Fourth quarter. He had just two spurts, but he's that type of player where two spurts for him is 30 points. However, it was the most ineffective 30 points that I can remember being dropped on us.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I'm just proud, elated, and I'm so happy that we were able to stay on their necks once we got that advantage of Draymond being silly and getting thrown out. And I don't feel sorry for him, and I don't care. He was talking to his teammate or whatever, but I saw Noel walk up to the ref and was like, no, he was talking to me. So, Draymond does what Draymond does, and it worked in our favor last night. So with that being said, let me just do a come down, Kevin Porter stutter step, bounce pass up top to Santana.
I'm gonna do a little reverse layup on that.
All right.
So I'm going to say it. I said it before, and I'll say it again. All right, playoffs, and I'm sticking.
Shut up.
Okay? I'm sticking with it. Listen, I know my eyes don't deceive me, brother. Okay, and everything that I've said, whether it was last year or this year, I've been on point. So I know what I see, playoffs, and playoffs. Okay? This team is going to make the playoffs. Whether they make it in the play-in or they make it in the playoffs, or they're going to play. They're going to play. That's what I got to say about them. I'm not going to belabor the point of this game because I think, we're short on time right now. We got to transition now into tonight's game, which is against the Sacramento Kings. So, with that being said, I'm gonna do a little rolling of the dice here. I'm gonna throw the ball up in the air for the alley-oop. Who wants it? Who want to take the first crack at it? Go ahead. Just speak your piece.
Oh, I'll take it J.R. Roddy style through the legs.
Do it.
Boy, let's get it going like a dunk.
Go ahead.
That was a nice one. That was a nice one.
Start off with the firepower. All their firepower is just three guys, okay? Fox, Hield, and Halliburton, okay? Fox and Hield, we know. Halliburton's coming in with the chip because he didn't get drafted by the Knicks. We had one of these guys. Remember in the Orlando game, we were like, watch out for Anthony, He was okay, didn't do much, but Halliburton's going to have the same chip on his shoulder when he's facing us, okay? There's nobody on the first or second NBA rookie team for Barrett to show out against. But you know what? Give us a consistent game and do what you've been doing, brother. I started to go dig deep into these numbers because Sacramento is one of these teams that always makes me frenetic. When they play the Knicks, it's like we should be beating them more often than they beat us, but history doesn't play that way for us. So I did a little digging because I remember losing to this team a lot recently. We did beat them the last time we played them by like 2 points or something like that, but that was way back in 2019. Previously to that, They beat us 4 times, and I swear I went live to 2 of those games because I still remember De'Aaron Fox falling off. But so we know what they bring to the table. The approach to the game should be similar to what we did to Golden State, right? We talked about how can we beat Golden State, and we dug deep and we pulled out a week ago the Indiana game. Now, if you look at those numbers and you look at the numbers that we put up against them, very, very similar. What do we say? We said we got to stop them in the first half from blowing off too much, and then in the second half, put the clamps on them and hold them down. And we got them on 19 in the third quarter, I think it was, right? Or something like that. We held them down to 19, and then like 25 in the fourth quarter or something like that. But that was just loose points that they got at the end. But we went in there, we executed that game plan. If we go in to Sacramento, execute the same game plan, I believe we can do the same thing, right? They're a guard-oriented team. They like to go up and down the floor, but they don't really they can score, but I mean they score more than Golden State does on average. So that's like, we wouldn't think that, but that's the case this year, But they kind of come across as a team like Washington does in the East, right? If you look at the numbers, Washington is way down in the bottoms record-wise, but the top team as far as scoring and having the best scorer, basically in the league. So it kind of like an enigma. It's like weird. It's like, okay, why aren't they doing better than they are? But they know how to play against us. They're not scared of us in any way. None of their guards are anyway. They got some Kentucky guys, just like we got some Kentucky guys. And like I said yesterday, they have athletes, we have athletes. If we come to play our game, we should be okay. Let's not let this be a letdown game. Let's snatch this one like we snatched the Orlando game after and let's get these 2 off back-to-back. Because right now, like I said, this team not so much. They're fully stacked, but they don't really present too much other than the fact that they are a high potent scoring team. Outside of that, if we play our number 1 defense, we'll bring them down, okay? Because they, if I was looking, they're tied for last in defense, and we're number 1. So we should be able to do something to them that they're uncomfortable with all game, okay? That's my little tip. Yep. And, I'll do a little semi behind the back, but over the head kind of, I don't know if you guys can see that. Whoop, that little backwards flip up in the air. I send it back down to Bill Sadamas.
All right, I was looking up that very stat, and according to this, they're ranked number 30 in defense, the Kings.
Yeah,
and we're ranked number one. And therefore, again, like the Golden State game, we do what we do. They're gonna do what they do, and let's see what happens at the end of all of that when the smoke clears. But I'm pretty sure that if we make it tough on certain players like Fox, of course, Buddy Hield, and Halliburton, I haven't seen much of him, so I don't know how he's doing. But he may have that little chip on his shoulder based on the fact that we didn't pick him up. And what about the other kid? How's he been playing? The one whose father was set to trade him. Was his Bagley? I haven't heard anything from him since that time. Did you guys see that report that his pops was telling the Kings to trade him?
Yeah, no, I haven't followed that story. I heard about it.
I heard about that about a week or two ago. Bagley the third, his pops. I don't know what happened, but he's not happy.
Oh, Bagley, yeah, Bagley.
Yeah, it seems like he's not happy over there or whatever. I don't know what's going on.
Is he not getting run? I
don't know. But I think he's somebody that we have to watch out for as well. So they got a few guys out there that we're going to have to pay attention to. But I trust that our defense is going to show up. And them having the worst defense only lends to us being able to I think we'll be able to go in there and walk out of there just like we walked out of from the dock of the bay last night. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to be able to walk out of there and get that done.
Woo!
With that being said,
the Bay City.
Am I going up top? Santana, take it away, bro.
So here's the thing. Because I gotta jump off momentarily, and then you guys close out the show and stuff like that whenever you guys decide to. So the only concern that I have regarding this game are two things. One, potential trap game. Two, you got young guns over there that they're gonna want to run. They're gonna be flashy. They're gonna try to, style and profile and be high flyers and the whole 9 yards. So, when you have that kind of energy and that kind of youth, that's infectious. Other guys jump on it. But obviously, the key indicator here is the defense is the worst in the league. So, again, like we discussed in the previous episode, I would rather have a boring team that wins than an exciting team that loses. Because ultimately, that's what you're getting with them. You're getting an exciting team, but they're losing. Why are they losing? Because they don't have the defense. So long as we don't play down to the competition, take a night off, and we go in there and we establish our strength. What's our strength? Defense. If we establish our strength early on and we keep our foot in their throat, like Mr. Bill says, then we should win this game easily. And we need to win this game, because we want to make sure at the very least we get these 2 games locked in. These are winnable games. There's no excuse. It'll be a tremendous letdown if they lose to Sacramento, because that's not supposed to happen. Not not under these circumstances, and not with this momentum that you're building, because this momentum is going to lead to more confidence. And that being said, I expect them to win, and I expect them to. I'm gonna throw out my prediction because I got to jump off. I got to get in a meeting, but you guys could run with it. Okay, I'm just gonna pass the rock. I expect them to win 110-85.
Nice.
Blowout.
What? Say again?
110-85. Blowout.
Woo! Whoa! 25?
I said it. If I said it twice, I said it once. Like my man Popeye says.
We're gonna change your name to Playoff Santana. Listen, man. One of the things that's happening in here is that we are coming off of a back-to-back. So let's not forget that. He did play. I think he went 10 deep last night, and everybody got an average number of minutes. He did have to come back at the end with the starters because the game was slipping away. So they had to win that game a second time, or at least prevent it from getting out of hand and possibly making a game out of it. So the history says that the Knicks had never been that good. And the second game of a back-to-back, remember the last game, the game that they won against who was it, Orlando, was the worst time in a long time since prehistoric time that they have won back-to-back games. So you have to throw that into the mix too. You talk, the Dream talked about the history and this and that. Part of the history is that they have shown to be inadequate in the second games of a back-to-back. So that's not going to deter me from being hopeful and making a prediction of a win tonight. I still gonna expect them to continue on with how they've been playing recently. They should be very excited about how it's happening. We were on a 3-game winning streak the last time that we went on a 5-game losing streak. So so I'm hopeful that we can turn this into a 4-game winning streak. Okay, and then we can start talking about break up the Knicks. But overall, it's like very much a winnable game. And at the end of the day, the only team that scares me in this road trip, I think, is the Jazz, because even Portland is hurting now. They got the other kid is out, but we'll have that discussion on Sunday, I suppose. But for tonight's game, yes, Fox is a problem. Okay, yeah. Buddy Hield is a problem. He just starts raining threes. Like this dude doesn't. I don't ever, like all of a sudden they becomes a superstar. And yeah, I don't know so much about the chip that this guy is going to be coming into the game with, but I would like to see my boy, coach put that what's his name, Bullock on him, because Bullock could put the clamps on anybody, man. I think he even took turns with on a switch with Curry last night, and that's why Curry was so frustrated because he had people all up in the shorts wherever he went,
And
and
they
that
were
was
bumping him
if
and
you bring
everything too.
that kind of defense against, yes sir, and if they bring that defense against Fox, we'll be in a good space at the end of the game. Okay, like I always say, with 4 minutes to go, and we're still, up 5 or down 5, and it's anybody's game, I like my chances. Take it away, Dream.
Yeah, give us a score.
Oh, your score. You
Oh,
want
a
to give me
score?
a score again?
A score. Well, we're holding people down to 105 points, so I'm going to give them 105 points. I'm going to take 110.
Okay.
So 110, 105?
So it's 110, 105 Knicks.
Okay, not bad. So
Yep.
I completely agree with you. In the past, speed kills. That used to be the thing that we used to look at. Any fast guards coming in, we'd be like, oh man, like it's just gonna be an open lane all night, which is opening up the thing. This year, I'm willing to accept that this is a different Knicks team. Okay, speed no longer kills us like that. We have guys that are moving around. We have active hands on defense, and we are not being stagnant anymore. And we're not watching these guys like, oh wow, here comes this guy down the floor. No, we like, okay, he's coming down the floor. I need to be in this position to take away his dribble there, or where he wants to go with the first pass and make him make the second pass he wants to. Like so we defensively have shown out a lot differently this year. So I'm gonna stick with that. Outside of that, this, like we said, this is always the trap games. I can't help but look forward because like you said, I don't really want to talk about it too much, but like you dropped in there, we're looking at Portland in a couple of days, and we're like, wait, this is a team that has injuries now. Like maybe we can get one against this team that used to be hot and is now falling a little bit. So, but that's down the road. We need to stay game for game for game. We said that, right? No looking ahead, no none of that stuff all season. No matter how many win streaks we get, how long, we need to take one game each day. That's it. That being said, Knicks 112, 103.
Okay.
We think alike, man. That's the second time. This is the second time in a row that we picked the same number. First number, I should say, for the Knicks. Because I picked 112 I picked 112 to 98. So
yeah, I was gonna keep it under 100
because I'm banking on us keeping them under 100 and keeping that defense talked about throughout the league.
Yeah.
Like you said though, this can be a trap game, and they have pieces over there that can make you pay. If you come in there sloppy, they can make you pay. Yeah. Like you said, they got Fox over there. He's good, healed. He'll start raining. Halliburton, we don't know. They got some pieces.
They got some big guys too.
Yeah.
If you look at it,
don't they have another sharpshooter or somebody else is supposed to be?
They have a guy.
Yeah,
comes off their bench sometimes if he gets hot.
Right. And and they're similar to us with regard to being young and trying to turn around their culture and get back to winning ways. Back in their Chris Webber and Stojakovic days, Bibby, they're trying to get back to that prominence, and we're trying to get back to our 90s prominence. So, like I said, I'll go 112 to 98, and I think that we need to jump on them early, just like we did with Golden State. And if they're gonna mount any type of comeback, we're gonna be able to hold them off with our Tibbs defense with that monster defense that's number one. So we get to stick our chest out until someone else takes over the number one spot. And I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon. So therefore, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. 112.98, New York, and a walk away. We're gonna walk away with this in the second half. With
Walk
that being
away.
said, let's go 2.0. You got any more to add to that? Oh, before we go, I just want.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say before I forget, R.I.P. to Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron passed.
Hank Aaron. Absolutely, I heard that this morning.
Yeah, R.I.P. One of the greatest to ever do it in Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
715, baby.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. 2.0. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the only thing that I wanted to add was that most of the teams in the West are, or rather, I'm not going to say most, but teams like the Warriors and teams like these guys are Sacramento. It's like the olden days. They used to outscore everybody. They were playing no defense, and that's similar to what's happening now. These guys don't play any defense. They just want to outscore you. They think that if they can outscore you, they're gonna beat you. But when they come across a defensive-minded team, they have to reset, and that whole outscoring mentality doesn't work anymore because people are holding you down to a lower average than what you used to, the numbers that you're used to putting up. So this is where it's going to be what's going to make the difference. If the Knicks come in there with the defense that we are becoming accustomed to seeing them play on their best days, it's over before it gets started, man. Okay? Those things about scoring 40 points in the first quarter, that we eventually come down to a more average thing. The problem is that, the good thing is that when we play that good defense, it turns into offense. And that's all it is. It's not that we're going out there and outscoring them or scoring on their set defense. We are scoring in the transition offense, and that's what we need a little bit more of. And again, transition offense, and then set up our defense. I saw them picking up a little bit more and more up, in the 3/4 to half court instead of allowing everybody to just come down. So that's another difference that I'm seeing, and that is what's going to help us.
Yeah.
That's what we have to be. We cannot outscore nobody. We can only outwork you.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. I was just saying, yeah. Like pick them up 3/4, a half court course, slow them down before they get flying up and down the court. You just initially put a body in front of them. Don't get it to speed up, So I agree. I agree.
Listen, they got to understand that we're coming, and ain't nothing y'all can do about it.
Yeah. I think they got the memo.
This is where we're looking for.
There's a memo going around. What's that?
That's a playoff bracket.
A playoff bracket. You haven't seen one in 20 years. You forgot what it looks like. The playoff bracket, my friend.
Oh, shit. I thought that was the college.
Nope. NBA.
Anyway,
they don't even let us
logo up there. NBA.
We needed to play in that college tournament a couple of years.
All right.
Basically. Right? And we might not have even won it all.
No, just to play.
Well, listen, man, we have a lot of players that have played in that in the NCAA. So all they have to do is bring their game over to us now. what about this conversation? I saw the poster that somebody put up. I think it might have been your cousin Bill that put up the poster about the Cavs wanting to trade with the Knicks.
Oh yeah, I think that was.
I don't know how real it is.
No, I think that was from from some rumor site.
Mhm.
Because they have sites that just put
Okay.
rumors out there.
Okay.
Because also I hadn't opened it up. When I went back and looked at it, it said that they were going to throw in. What's the kid that had the
Porter
tantrum?
Jr.
They was talking about throwing him in on that deal.
Hmm.
Him and
Who? Say it again.
him and Drummond. What's his name? Was
Kevin
it
Porter Jr.
Kevin Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr. Okay.
It's supposed to be Kevin Porter Jr. and Drummond for who was it? For Mitch.
They wanted Knox, bitch.
Knox,
DSJ.
DSJ, a first rounder.
Yeah. I don't want to give up that
Yeah,
Dallas. I'm not doing that.
I don't want to give up Mitch.
I didn't want to give up Knox, but I mean,
Yeah, there you go. So nobody wants to give up anything in
I
that.
didn't want to give up Knox.
I don't want the pick. You don't want Mitch. You don't want Knox.
Listen,
It really, I didn't think it worked out for us in general. It's okay. Like,
okay.
Even if you go
Yeah,
back,
but it was a rumor.
that even if you go back and check what Cleveland gave up to Detroit originally to get him was like Brevin Knight and somebody else off the bench. Brevin Knight was a veteran starter, a point guard, whatever shooting guard you want to call him, and a second round pick. That was it. So I'm like, why would we give up a first round pick that we gave up our star player for those picks? Like, that's how I always looked at those ballots. We gave up our franchise, right? And what we were building or trying to build around for those picks. So those, if you're going to attack those picks, they got to be for something you value, or that we can't deny. One of those two, like a Brad Beal. I can't deny Brad Beal. Take those picks. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Kevin Porter Jr., Andre Drummond, they'll do it for me. Porter Jr. is I mean, he got drafted by Cleveland. He's from USC, I believe. And in Cleveland, he couldn't not stay out of trouble. He was arrested for marijuana charge and all. He already got a head case. He's been around for a year. So it's like, what are you going to do here? So I just didn't want no problems. We have a nice team right now who's focused, and I just don't want an issue brought here, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So but I think we're almost out of here. If you want to close the show out.
So Bill left.
Either that or you got tied up.
So anyway, thanks again. Yeah. Well, anyway, I guess we come to the end of another episode of Knicks Dreams. And as we always say, when we close out, once a Knick, always a Knick. Okay. Good luck tonight. Did you watch last night?
I did.
You saw the whole thing?
The whole thing, start to finish, and I recorded it. So I like to watch them over and over sometimes, just to make sure.
I know. I watch the replay whenever MSG runs it again.
Yeah,
but I don't know if they're going to run it again today.
Maybe not because of the back-to-back games. So we'll see.
Because of the back, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll see when I get home.
All right,
how's the baby?
Be safe.
Okay. Talk to you later.